afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, innovating, and amazing Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master of propaganda, heroes like defender of the fatherland, your only sanctioned source of community entertainment, off here to a 1v1 on Mill Road. In the north it is Clororaa fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland, das Vaterland. Here with the 116th Panzerdivision Windhund with Lightning War, Spearhead, and Festering Armor. That is quite an armoured approach. In the south it is Cannonball, fighting for America, freedom, democracy, here with the 6th Armoured Division tasked with breaking through the German lines, no matter the cost. And he's going straight for Infantry Company here with rifle defensive structures, mortar half-tracks, light machine gun up for the infantry course, time on target artillery barrage, and the M7B1 Priest Howitzer motor carriage. Gunner the MD42 versus double rifle start, and as always, a big hearty thanks to my Patreon supporters. Without them and their wonderful support, the Propagandacast would not be possible. So thanks to all those for supporting the war effort. Other people can join the ranks by Patreon. They can also consider donating via PayPal for one-time thing there. Links in the description. If you're considering periodic companies fee, you can also do that by the link in the comments. Use the code STUK3G and I get a cut of the sale, so that's a nice way to help me out as well. And I'll also comment, like, share, subscribe. So, gun these out here for Clororaa. Machine gun out as well, in fact going pretty broad here as the Wehrmacht. Actually a bit of an interesting capping order since most players just, focusing on getting that field point as fast as possible. Clororaa is going for a more aggressive approach in a sense, actually focusing on the center and the points sort of more northwards. That is a very unusual opening, shall I say, push here by Clororaa. Second grenadiers on the way there. Meanwhile, we got a more standard spread approach here from Cannonball, sandbags here and there. But again, I don't think I'll be quite ready for what's coming here from Clororaa because it is just very unusual. He's clearly not expecting, in part because, again, most Wehrmacht players will not do this. So obviously, Clororaa, in some regards, does have a bit of an edge here against Cannonball, but of course it does require he doesn't like run into surprises himself, otherwise he's in a lot of trouble. But if, he can catch Cannonball off guard himself and actually make this work, this is going to work out really well for Clororaa. It could really throw off Cannonball's early game here. But we got 3 rival squads out there, single squad arriving here. Pioneers, MD42, Grenadiers versus rival squad here, quick looking to kill that one off before it gets into the fight. Up north, the second rival squad, of course, unaware Clororaa moving in here. Of course, he might have gotten a hint if he paid attention to the minimap, perhaps. All the way there, rival squad going away. Grenadiers will deal with that. We still got the other Grenadier squad wanting to flank the re-echelons here. MD42 turning around. He can stop the rival squad. Very likely here. And, oh no, the deep, massive delay again, and the MD42 from time here kicks into action. For some reason, the MD42 is bugged in a manner where, for some bizarre reason, it just has to, at times, these massive delays before it starts shooting in the units, like, right in front of it. So yeah, that is something that can create some very uncomfortable moments there. And it's sort of a hint as to why you will see some Wehrmacht players just not go for the MD42 in the early game, simply because it can be a huge liability when, again, you get a situation where there's a target right in front of it, and apparently the gunner's just not seeing it. What do you mean there's Americans in front of me? You gotta be pulling my leg, yeah. Might even lose a Grenadier escort here. That's going to be pretty rough there for Clororaa. Guess he's trying to buy time here, but ultimately may have just bought time for Cannonball to wipe his Grenadiers. Yup. Quite a blow here to Clororaa and the 116th Panzerdivision in the early game. Lieutenant out here for Cannonball as well. Tech on the way there for Clororaa. The 116th Panzerdivision Windhund was a sort of mid-war created panzer division centered around two elements, partly a training and replacement panzer battalion that's also part coastal unit, and there's remnants of the shattered 16th Panzer Grenadier Division. These would be combined to then form up the 116th Panzer Division. Fun fact there. It does highlight the German army's tendency to utilize veteran corps to form then, new divisions around. Little fun fact there. Third Grenadiers go on the way left. Clororaa placed one lost. Could also, of course, try it for some Panzer Grenadier, but Clororaa is definitely a fan of the Grenadiers. MD4 tooling up, of course, bit of a gap there. Partly, again, visually, because of these massive hedges. It's been caught here, but Clororaa is definitely in a bad spot after, again, that push. It just didn't work out for him. Cannonball has a significant set of advantages tactically and operationally here versus Clororaa, which is definitely a problem. There'll be a machine was about to get hosed by the reactions as well. It's so low in health here. We do have the Grenadiers trying to assist, but the situation is going pretty aggressively paired here. You could try the Rifle Grenade here. I mean, there's a nice bunch of infantry. The Pioneers drawing the attention, but instead, that's going to be a wipe here, I think. Oh, they didn't get wiped. Talk about lucky there. possibly luckier than he deserved. It's a really rough spot here. I mean, Cannonball is, well, just going at him like a cannonball. But there, Garaf it off there. Lieutenant takes a hit, but the heavy cover bonus applies. For those wondering what am I talking about there, they basically made a cover bonus of like a grenade of any kind goes over heavy cover. The unit on the other side takes 50% less damage. It's basically to avoid, you know, just rifle grenades and other stuff like that just getting a wipe when you got in heavy cover. So they implemented that basically. Of course, if you then toss a grenade from another angle where it doesn't go over the heavy cover, the unit will take full damage from the grenade. So, little fun fact. And note, it only applies to heavy cover. Light cover like this does not provide any, you know, protection against explosives. Like, you know, you can't hide behind, you know, a bunch of, you know, shrubberies or dead cow and hope, you know, you won't get, like, your face blown off. Meanwhile, though, situation's still rough here for Clororaa. We got Cannonball there, cannonballing towards the Stuart light tank. I'll be looking at, you know, before the 7-minute mark. That is a relatively fast Stuart light tank here. And, you know, Clorora's not even, like, close to Pack 40 as of yet. He doesn't even have the bulletins rush it up. Mines off as well here. Cannonball really trying to leverage the early game advantage. Getting down as many mines as he can here and there is also, I think, very smart. Though, of course, also preserving enough munitions, just quickly hand out light machine guns to his men. There you go. The Browning 30 cal there, air-cooled. Because, unless you're the Germans in World War I, you're not going to try around with a water-cooled light machine gun. Those are kind of heavy. And as you sort of might get not quite light machine guns. 2-2 on the way there for Clororaa. Gonna need that Pack 40. You could also go for second 2-2. I mean, 2-2s with a bit of support from a Panzerfaust can take out a Stuart in most situations, but obviously there's a bit more risk involved, which most players I find is typically not quite willing to commit to. Understandably, honestly. But you can do it. You can do it in my experience. Right squad, we're going to use heavy cover. We got the armored coming up here. The Pioneers basically sort of acting as a tripwire there, I think. Gunnies in the south routed. Fuel point in the south being attacked here by Cannonball and the 6th Armored Division. Baker Company. Couldn't we be like Bravo Company? That sounds cooler. Shut up, Carl. Bravo. That's for nerds. Right squad, they're moving forwards here. Stuart light tank moving up as well there. Pack 40 slowly on the way here for Clororaa. Grabbing the centre here, Lieutenant moving about there. More light machines being had there. 2 of Cannonball's men there. Pack 40 is now arriving. Troop reinforcing there. Bit of first aid there being handed out to the Grenadiers. Back at base here, we do have the 5th cal there also on the way. Going to further make things complicated here for Clororaa. Still no commander. Of course, the question is, what would he go for under these circumstances? Part of me might suggest festering armor because we get out a Panzer IV model here. That would probably give him a better base to sort of try and turn the game around on. More likely we're going to see like Spearhead or Lightning War, and then of course holding out for a Tiger maybe. We'll see though, we'll see. 5th cal almost done here for Cannonball. Mine goes off here, wiping the echelons. Guessing that was one of his own mines. That could also have been a telemine, I guess. I don't think there's been much time here for him to lay down a telemine, so I don't think so. Either way, though, getting rid of the resistance is a small win there for Clororaa. Removes at least one unit, can just run around grabbing points and, you know, repair the Stuart, but at the same time, it's not a huge combat element either. We can see there's replacement echelons, so obviously definitely wants them. Stuart rushing forward into the Pack 40 here. Not within range of the Panzerfaust, though. Still, that Stuart won't be doing anything soon. Infantry up north here for Cannonball, the 5th cal there being hauled forwards as well. Lieutenant routed, almost wiped out too. In the centre there, Grenadiers with the rifle squad here. Could try and rifle at least just to get them a bit low and help maybe get a few kills in. The south here, Grenadiers, Pioneers could advance. And we do have some telemines down here for Clororaa. The teleminen. Tele meaning plate, because it was kind of plate shaped. Fun fact. There's a fun side note about the telemine. It's actually like a fairly high utility mine, as it could also be detonated via cord. So what occasionally you'd see the Germans do is they actually just use it like a satchel charge, and so they just chuck it into like an infinite advantage on the eastern front and then just detonate it that way. They also had some other tricks, like just mounting on like a wooden plate and then just dragging that in front of a passing tank. You know, it's a relatively flexible mine. That's a fun side note. Machine gun up here towards the center against the Rifle Squad there. Going to use their raid to deal with any Minesweeper gentlemen there. Would also be a benefit if Clororaa to start upgrading his grenadiers with a light machine gun. Bunker on the way there. No commander yet though for Clororaa. He can soon tag up though. Obviously it's going to still take him time to get like any armor, but better have it ready in time is my motto there. Pack 40 there, machine getting hammered. Pioneers going to move northwards. 5th Gala being caught here with the advancing Germans with the Rifle Squad up here could further complicate the maneuver here. Clororaa is definitely pushing back against Cannonball, but at the same time, Cannonball is not exactly making it easy for Clororaa to get back into this though. Clororaa could benefit from mortar as well here. Instead he's going for a 4th Grenadier Squad, just wants to pressure harder with infantry. I mean, that's also a pretty good choice there. As always, I would recommend some Panzergrenadier. As for Cannonball, we got the Major on the way. A major move for freedom and democracy. And he's found the shit. They're starting to look not particularly safe to reside in. Not particularly safe to reside in. North here, Rifle Squad, they're getting off damage. Engine in the armoured car with an anti-tank rifle grenade. Very good there for Cannonball. Less stellar for Clororaa, though at least the Pioneers are right on hand to fix it. Should bring about here. Pack 40 shoots, misses. Grenadiers there need to be careful with mine set off as well there. That was a pretty lucky shot there for Cannonball. That's got to feel a bit bad there for Clororaa. That's got to feel just a bit bad. Obviously, I think Cannonball, he could benefit from a mortar half-tech to make it harder for Clororaa to defend around here, since just smoke, just constant mortar barrages could make like a defense around here much more difficult for Clororaa. Of course, he doesn't need it, but I think it's something Cannonball could consider. Got the armor coming about here. 5 kills, Veterans 1 kills Charles, then the machine gun crew. Still rolling back there, Ralph's coming forwards. Still nothing techie there for Clororaa. Perhaps he's planning a second pack 40. Considering the amount of pressures on from his opponent, the map control that his opponents also had there. Going for another pack 40 in anticipation of more armor action from Cannonball, I think is a very simple choice there for Clororaa, if that's what he's planning, but also just pushing for tanks I think would also be a smart idea here. Nice flank here, but the Rifle Squad catching MG42 in a pretty bad position for retreating. Big 2 points wise, the bleed is on Clororaa as well, and we got a second MG42. Interesting choice there. I'm thinking better for the mortar here rather than another MG42. Personally, though, again, obviously having another MG42 is actually very rarely a bad idea unless your opponent has a lot of artillery, and so far, Cannonball has none. That said, of course, he may soon push for tanks, at which point the second MG42 might struggle to be, as relevant. Might just struggle. Fixing the armored car again, more mines exploding. More stuff is exploding, moving up there. Could call artillery, there you go. Calling artillery on the shed. This is Major Thompson. I got a shed you need to flank. A shed? A shed. Really? Yeah, I'm sure Hitler's in it. Alright, calling in everything we got. Shed is down about. Would you have it? Hitler's not in it. God damn. He's never in that shit, is he? Funny how that works. 5th Gal holding up here. Still firing out the MG42, pack 40 up there. Quick shot there, completely whiffs. Leaves one squirrel homeless as he sees an entire family blown apart by a 75mm armor-piercing round. Stuart takes the next hit from the pack 40 there, though. Other MG40 coming far here, preventing a push on the pack and the cutoff point. But in the south here, there's a breakthrough attempt here by Cannonball against Clororaa. Only a few grenades holding the line here. The machine gun, though, oh, could also now turn around here. Didn't have enough forces to really exploit this opportunity. Up north, we also see a bit of pressure by Clororaa. Second pack 40. Sherman away there for Cannonball. Again, I think Cannonball would benefit a fair amount from a mortar. And Clororaa, of course, from, taking up and going for armor. But at this point, I definitely suspect Clororaa might just be behind store for the Tiger tank. I mean, double packs. This overall situation definitely makes you think it's going to be a Tiger stall. Back at base here for Clororaa, nothing else still going on. I mean, it could still be festering armor, but I think at this point, if he was intending festering armor, he'd probably be sort of getting more of a clue towards it. Whereas this feels more like Lightning War Spearhead. Bit of a shame, really. But there we are. Sherman almost done there for Cannonball. Lieutenant at it. Of course, the Lieutenant here. Rafts Corporation moving forwards. Good 5th Cal Rafts coming forwards as well here. Straight ahead for Freedom there against the armored car. Decent shot there with the first armored gun. Right for the 222's armor. Being bombarded. Not within range of a Panther fast. So the student is able to rapidly disengage. Need to be careful around that building, or causing a bit of damage as it just reverses straight into the Shem, moves straight to the pack 40 here as well. Honestly, one thing you could do besides not getting within range of the Panther fast was actually deploy smoke around here, then charge him with the Sherman backed up infantry in the Stuart light tank. That could actually be like a pretty potent push against Clororaa that could like maybe break him. He does push him with the Sherman from another angle, though he should still crucially deploy smoke, but sadly isn't, or very fortunately isn't if you're Clororaa. Definitely can recommend using that smoke screen ability, as I do think it is very powerful. It should not be underestimated. As it is just an incredibly fast and responsive ability to just quickly create a smoke screen there. It's also, I think, fairly well covering there on a like pretty offensive unit. That can really mess up some German defenses if utilized correctly. But right here, though, Cannonball did not, and Clororaa was able to withstand the storm and push back Cannonball here. So that was definitely great for Clororaa, but that's great for Cannonball in the 6th Armored Division. Attack on the way there for Clororaa and Deutschland. Pioneer pushing forward. Sandbags going down. Going to leave there with 16 kills for Deutschland. Troops reinforcing healing. And a Scot here for Cannonball. Obviously wants some candle artillery. And of course the Scot is really, really good. Obviously not a mistake to go for that one. If he remembers to use his abilities, it becomes much better too. North, we got the lone reaction squad there, running into some trouble here with some Germans. With the light machine gun, whereas the reactions really only got their minesweeper, which is, as most people will be aware, not capable of fighting back, no matter how much you wish so. Grenades! Okay, that's interesting. Not a bad idea, though. Not a bad idea at all, but certainly interesting. Especially considering he also went for weapon racks, but hasn't really made use of them. Could use to upgrade the Rifleman, I think, with another BA on top of the Brown Light Machine Gun. Or turn the Reason into Bazooka Team or the Major. Still have access to the grenades is a nice idea, can catch some German players off guard quite well, and of course you also get access to more smoke. Then again, so far, Cannonball just really isn't much of a smoker at all. Pushing forwards here, bombarding a few here, Cloroora's elements here. Machine gun team wiped out, grenades crushed by the Sherman, and the light machine gun dropped. Oof. Machine up north in trouble as well. This is turning really ugly for Clororaa and the 116th Panzer Division, as Cannonball and the 6th Armored is delivering some indiscriminate justice here against Clororaa and the 3rd Reich here. Might need a grenade to finish off the machine gun. Nope, didn't get it off here. Even then, almost wipes out the MD42. Only a bit of narrow luck there saved Clororaa from handing over the MD42 as well on the Americans. We got the Major with the MD42 moving forwards. Actually, some smoke here from Cannonball. It is a miracle. A miracle, I tell you. And now we got to little call in there. Just a big push for the card point. Clorora's defenses are collapsing in the face of Cannonball. Grenade here on the MD42 there, quickly killing no one. Instead, they're getting killed by all of the grenadiers nearby. Shem could, of course, deploy smoke, but again, If it's not Scott smoke, apparently it's not smoke at all. Which really sounds like some kind of weird motto. Panzer IV, they're ready. Hack the getting hammered by the Scott and its center from the cannon. Its predecessor bow was a half-track with roughly the same gun, but obviously lacking a turret. Fun fact. When he's attacking the Ralph Scott, quick push back, got the Panther IV moving up. He stood engaging courageously the Panther IV. Rather lopsided engagement. Definitely commits to stood too far there. Could risk losing to the Panther IV, but at the same time the Panther IV doesn't seem to be quite paying attention there. Damn, its engine stood narrowly gets away here. We got some more shots fired here. Panther IV there, 1 kill. Almost got a Ralph Scott here, but looks like Cannonball's luck is with them. And Clororaa remains heavily on the defense. We've got 294 versus 423. At least he didn't try and stall for the Tiger tank here. But there's still no command. And of course, there's the argument. Maybe he should have gone for festering armor for the Panzer IV Model J then. That is another discussion I guess to be had. They show him down to half health there. Narrowly avoids destruction by the Pack 40s. Really close call on that one too. And we do get some smoke here again from Cannonball Scott. Remember guys, it's not Scott smoke unless it's Scott smoke. What the hell are you, corporate mascot? No, 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 no. Not at all. On the coast, Ralph Squad here, quick anti-tank rifle against the 222. Damaging the engine. Reinforcing healing. And you fought to the lieutenant in the center. Could soon go for another Panzer IV. Scott landing a few quick hits here with its center from the howitzer. Another 50 cal here for Cannonball. Though he could also, well, he could still go for Sherman as well here. And so only 2 Shermans, as Scott has stood. Could open up for a pretty aggressive attack. In particular, if using the Majors to do air recon, so you can spot out the packs, smoke them, and then just isolating the packs from most of the force, then crushes the rest of the force before then dealing with the packs. I think that could actually be like a pretty powerful move here by Cannonball, but of course, he does need to like visualize it in his head to like actually execute it, and so far, Cannonball does not quite seem to be visualizing it. Fifth cal there being added to the Sherman. Quickly gain the Grenadiers. Closing an veteran one the Sherman as well. They could of course try and switch out the Stewart crew with the Sherman, giving the Sherman a bit of extra veterancy maybe. Pax, Panther IV going for the Sherman and South here, Lieutenant on the flank as well. Ralph Scott moving in as well here. Actually got some BRs and some of the riflemen. Ralph Scott on the south here taking hits, got bazookas on those. Anti-tank rifle grenade straight through the head, yes. Hell of a distance there, damages the engine of the Panther IV there. MD4 holding up the American advance here from Cannonball there. Sherman tank forward here, bazooka, or maybe actually supporting the Scott here. Panther IV there being repaired. Sherman narrowly surviving a counter there with the German packs. Again, machine gun opposite up with the Scott here. 2 kills there go. Armored car flanking the Scott, getting some light damage in north side of the map here. Also seeing some slow pressuring there by Clororaa. But still hasn't picked a commander. They've got another Panzer IV. At this point, he really, I think, could easily afford just go for festering armor for the Panzer IV Model J rather than the regular Panzer IV. I think that would have some merit here. Meanwhile, we got the Jackson tank destroyer there for Cannonball. Stewart there's about to get hammered by 2 Pack 4s backed up by 222, but no. Very smartly, he just keeps moving because the packs are going to have to turn around a bit more. That said, oh yeah, the blue 222 blocks off this continued path southwards, but the Stewart still gets away. Really close call there for Cannonball. Second Panther almost done. Jackson are halfway done here for the Americans. Back at base, the Jackson is almost ready for freedom and democracy. Panther IV the moving about should add the pinlight machine, of course, there. In fact, none of his Panther IVs have been upgraded with the pinlight machine gun. As we go far in the Panther IV, Pack's repositioning a bit here. Second Panther IV ready there for Clororaa, still no commander. Again, seems very likely it's going to be some kind of Tiger-related commander. As we go far there. Lamp post delamped. And there you go, Ralph getting the 5th cal there. Full white P on Cannonball. His left flank was pretty wide open. That was actually a pretty good, smart move there. Clororaa compliance out of there. Cannonball Might seize the 5th cal there, turning against the Americans. That's going to be quite painful there for him. Panther dying full. Got the Sherman and Jackson nearby here. Shot bounces. Sherman does not, but now he's got the 5th cal there. He is denied the Mardues to the Yankees. In the south, the machine, they're trying to hold up the Americans, pushing on the fuel point there, but victory points wise. Cannonball keeps up the bleed on Clororaa. And we got more Pioneers as well. He's got a lot more vehicles and armor now, and more Pioneers will be necessary to repair them all. Plentiful, they can handle the bazooka fight. Anti-tank rifle filling up here. Nice little 1-2 combo there from Cannonball and the 6th Armored. Center advance here. Pack 4 is ready to meet up the Sherman. Right into the chassis there. In the south, the assault continues. Route squad being suppressed by the M42. Sherman knocked out there. Definitely a blow there to Cannonball. In the east, Route squad, they're getting grenade off the M42, but not enough to kill it. Pack's almost wiped out, though, in return. Jackson holding up back in reserve. Can't quite line up a clear shot in the Panther Force for all appearances. Scott still bombarding. Panther Force going to go for it. Can Cannonball cover the Scott here? Will it be too late? There we go. Good shot on the Panther Force. Going to risk losing it here. Yep. Pack relying on the scene somewhat. Panther 4 down, Panther 5 still on the Jackson tank. The sword gun is pushing 40. Scott in trouble, knocked out with Pack 40. Getting a bit ugly here for Cannonball. In the south here, the MD-42 moves forward. Route squad nearby, going to grenade the MD-42, but they do suppress it. They're ace level by the way there. Almost got the Route squad. They're pinned down. Grenades on the other side. They definitely forces Cannonball to retreat. Another Panther 4 Clororaa. Still no commander. Still no flashing armor for the Panther 4 model. Yay, what a shame. That kit reinforcing healing. Panther 4's in dire need of repairs. And we got the armored card rank at the Stewart there. Apparently finally remembered here by Cannonball. Flanking the 50 cal and then driving right in front of the 50 cal. 50 cal definitely more than happy to return the favor there by murdering the armored car. Got the 50 cal with just one guy setting up here. And the pack's about to get wrecked here. This is looking pretty tough for Clororaa again. Looking pretty tough. Like 124 versus opponent's 423. Clororaa really to come up with some pretty impressive maneuvers. 5th cal wipe the lieutenant as he advances forward for freedom and democracy. And the other M14 getting lieutenant here. Clororaa and the 116th Panzer unit's got their back against the wall here. As Cannonball continues just to deliver the pain. Fresh Panther 4, they're ready. Second Panther, or first Panther 4, they're almost getting to go as well. 100 points left here for Clororaa. There needs to be some significant reversal soon here. That might just as well be GG for them. Wrecking the 50 cal. Grab the southern point. Get it quiet here. What will Clororaa do to try and get out of this pickle? What will Cannonball try to do to keep Clororaa in the pickle? Rather than allowing him to, unpickle himself. Also a bit of manpower float. They definitely should be doing that. Now the Jackson could be a Sherman. Go Sherman on the way there for Cannonball. You could also consider some fighting positions here and there to maybe defend some of the more extreme points. But anyways, Ralph's got caught up in for 2 artillery called in. Up north there, Panther 4 with some light support here approaching the northern side. In the south, we got a second push here by Clororaa. Looks to be sort of like a pincer, except like one pincer is much stronger than the other. Risky, but I suppose if we can get the northern pincer to sort of act as a bait, the southern pincer could maybe do some of the heavy lifting, like for example possibly taking out the Scott here, though. Definitely pretty risky for Clororaa, and still no commander from either to support it. Still almost got the Scott there. Close call here. Close call for Clororaa here. Sherman almost done there for Cannonball. And in the south they could try and grab some more points. They could also try and support the southern pins, but I think by now that ship has kind of sailed and run aground. Not quite like the Costa Concordia, but certainly not looking great either. 50 points left. Clororaa definitely needs to get off and get somewhere soon. And these punies are marching in the centre of the Panther up north here. Down a half health, close to 52 though. Cannonball keeps up the pressure against Clororaa. Got the Panther going for the Ralph Squad here. Ralph Squad down to 3 men. Almost wiped out here. Jackson turning around here. We got 44 versus 423. Clororaa is really in an uncomfortable place here. And I'm talking Baden after dark. Up north, MD42 engaging the Matey there with his Pilfered and purloined MD42. And got the white machine actually dropped it. Gun being run for it. Of course, need to remember to grab the point as well. There we go. That is a double light machine grenadier squad here. Got the Shermans, the Scots, the Jackson all falling back here in the face of Clorora's assault. Still no commander though. Kind Commandant. Jackson being caught here by the double pack, suffering fairly intense damage there. Quick spoke there from the Scot. Thumbs up to Cannonball. Panther 4 is being repaired. Need to retreat those pioneers because just having 2 pioneers to repair is horrifically inefficient. Horrifically inefficient. So Clorora's there. Finally somehow stabilized, but even then it feels like a bit tenuous stabilization here versus Cannonball for now. Fairly tenuous. Still no commander either. At this point though, could be Lightning War just for the super close air support here. Or Spearhead for the fragmentation bomb. And it does become Lightning War, and it is likely going to be for super close air support. Since Cannonball doesn't have any anti-aircraft traffic, it does mean he will be fairly vulnerable to interception by the Luftwaffe. I mean, he does technically have the 5th on the Sherman there, but not that great for anti-aircraft purpose. There we go, the Priest there is a surprise choice here by Cannonball. Not something you see every day, to put it gently. So, very surprised he don't want a Cannonball, but could help him blast through there Clorora's lines if applied correctly. So we'll have to see what Cannonball does here versus Clororaa. And how it reacts once the Luftwaffe comes swinging. 3rd Panther 4 there for Clororaa. He's obviously not going to try and hold up for a Tiger. Smoke deployed there. Very snappy. Punishment to contest. Deploy, utilizing his opponent's smoke against him. Priest sort of just holding back here with a ton of fun and a howitzer there. Grenades off here. North Gun is Panther Coh2. Jackson and English so alongside the Priest, though. That said, they are fairly close to the front lines. I mean, like, you know, one quick change that could quickly leave them exposed. To particularly the Priest there would certainly not be durable in the face of German anti-tank guns or tank guns. South here pushing forward. Panther going to look to flank around the southern party of Cannonball's force. Very good there. For Clororaa, definitely less good for Cannonball because it's only really a steward to sort of seriously defend it. There you go. The Luftwaffe has been summoned. The Stuka Kanonenvogel flying in here. Packs fighting the steward. There you go. The steward is knocked out. Great hit here on Cannonball. And the Jackson is pursued furiously by the Luftwaffe. The Kanonenvogel firing their 30-minute cannons there at the Jackson tank store, but they can't quite finish it off here still. The front line for Cannonball is now rapidly deteriorating. Panther 4 reaches 82 here. 5th car there in trouble as both Panther 4s descend upon it like a pack of rapid badgers in a barrel. Panther 4 need repairs. Could move some of the machines further up here, or at least some of the infantry. That said, he's a bit short on infantry, and they're a bit weak position. Air support, they're bringing down death. And the Sherman gets knocked out inside the base here, and the Jackson almost gets knocked out as well here as the range actually extends into the base here of Cannonball. And the Priest has, like, killed one guy so far. Mama, I just killed a man. Shut up, Bob. Shut up. Alright. Got a German MG4 to the left behind. Another one left behind there as well. Quite a few machines being dropped here with Clorora's Grenadiers. May want to work on that a bit. Also a bit short on infantry. That said, he does enjoy a bit of armor here. Advantage. Priest can soon bombard again Mr. Clororaa and the positions of the 1 and 16th Panzer Division Rheinhund. Pioneers there splitting up in the tanks. Typically, I'd always advise you to focus your pioneers on one tank at a time, because that way you just quickly get one tank back in action fast. Whereas with this, I mean, they're going to roughly be ready at the same time, and still going to like you to take longer than just getting one tank into the fight right away. So, definitely not what I'd advise, and definitely also argue fairly inefficient. They need to get those Panther Force committed to the fight soon. Jacking him to the Pack 40s. Down a half health. Panther Force can maybe go after. There go Panther fast, but there go Lieutenant with a grenade on the pack. But the Panther Force arrives at the Jackson's almost knocked out. Panther 4, the half age affecting free. The situation for Cannonball is quickly spiraling and snowballing out of control for him. Tanks and tank destroyers are blowing up at an increasing rapid pace. Infantry is bleeding out here on the fields of Western Europe as the German army under Clororaa remains fairly steadfast here. The situation for Cannonball is looking much tougher, though he does have a fair amount of manpower floating, but he probably wants to go for the captain for some anti-tank guns then. Because adding more 50 cals against all these Panther Force is not really going to get Cannonball any closer to victory. Said, can Cannonball realize what needs to be done here? He's just going to keep going with what he's got here versus Clororaa. Quick shot there. Got the priest moving forwards. Valve's got to find the cover slowly being whittled around way here by the Panther 4. And before joining in. Getting in fairly aggressive with the priest. He's effectively using like an assault gun. First shot goes a bit over the mark, but the second shot he could do the trick maybe. Against the 18-4-2, and there we go, jackpot. Almost wipes the entire 4-2 crew here. Almost wiped it too. Good golly. He's basically just using it like a massive assault gun. That is definitely a rare utilization of the priest there.
300 points remaining.
Yeah, he's just flooding so many resources. Hasn't gone for a captain, hasn't gone for anti-tank guns. I feel like that's a bit of a mistake there by Cannonball here. Panther Force striking his base now. Cannonball really has his back against the wall now here. And the Germans are closing in on him pretty rapidly. Now the Jackson went for Cannonball. Will it be enough here versus his opponent? Will it be able to project enough firepower against an increasingly large number of Panther Force here from Clororaa and the 116th Panzerdivision Vinhund? I think the answer to that is increasingly looking like a no. Pioneers saying northwards, damaging the Panzerkampf IV. Panther Force engaging, Gunnies firing at Lieutenant here. The Panther Force firing off a dreadful large amount of ammunition here at the advancing Americans. Ripping the GIs apart here. 3 kills on the priest still. 4th Panther Force down here for Clororaa and the 116th. That's going to make things very difficult for Cannonball, even with the Jackson tank. So the problem is just so many Panther Force will just ignore it and just charge it down, then quickly shoot it out here. So not looking great here for Cannonball. Not looking great. Scott firing. It's not making much of an impact on the Panther Force. Jackson engaging there. Good shot.
Ambulance ready for action.
Ambulance out here for Cannonball to replace the one lost. We got 44 to 260. The points are quickly ticking against Cannonball now here versus Clororaa. Rapidly ticking down. Bring up the priest again. He's about to deliver another sermon. 24-2 with 8 level and 19 kills. Just going to make another attempt at the priest to silence it. And there you go. Full wipe on the M42 here. Not too bad, but the question is, will this be enough? Because again, you might have got 1 machine gun, but there's also the issue of the 4 Panzer IVs. One of which is virtually 2 and near 8 level. I'd say things are looking pretty difficult for Cannonball, and I think he's sort of slowly realizing the severity of the situation right now. He's clearly looking to find another way to sort of break through against Clororaa, but I think he's slowly realizing it's going to be very, very difficult for him to do that. Got some solidifying them from Scott. Jackson going for deep flank. 3 still remaining serve. Almost got the Union foot 2 here. Jackson charging for the Panther 4. Good shot there. Casualties piling up though. Machine gun wiped out. Panther 4 attacking from the north here. Got an attack into the base of the Americans here. Catching here. Clororaa. Oh, Cannonball in a pretty bad spot here. Really good push here. Infantry in trouble here. Dying after the Jacksons. Well, they almost got the priest. Units dying out here. And there you go. Ace little Panther 4 here. Jackson retreating to the base. But there you go. The priest has been, well, killed. Panther 4 down. Almost got the Scott there as well. We got smoke being deployed here. Panther 4 is going for the Jackson. Almost got it here as well. Scott kaput as well here. Cannonball situation has now completely fallen apart. And with that, Deutschland stands triumphant. A fierce fight with some intense back and forth action. Really great fighting again, just highlighting the power of the Panther 4 and, you know, why it's typically a good idea to go for it, because it's just nice and efficient rather than trying to solve for the big stuff. I think had Clororaa trying to go for the Tiger Tank or Panthers, he likely would have lost here. That said, Cannonball, I think, should have gone for Captains, with the things were starting to go south with some anti-tank guns. But also, tactically, at times, I think he could have done, you know, with more smoke and maybe some more aggression when he actually was really ahead there. I think that was an opportunity that could have been utilised better. But there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. I learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. Tell a friend, tell a family, but don't share enemies. This is Imperial 18. Cheers, and see you all tomorrow for another episode. Bye.